Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and we're joined by my handsome cat Nemo, and we're going to talk about this article I'm going to read this article where Katie Sackoff, she talks about, Bo-Katan, Darksaber, and some more, stuff. So let's, read. And keep in mind that this article was published on March 9th. For context. This Wednesday, Deadline published an interview with Katie Sackoff about her Star Wars character, Bo-Katan Kryze. In it, they discuss what Bo wants at this point, the Darksaber, and whether she may appear in Ahsoka. Check out this excerpt here. So I guess this Deadline asking her, going back to the first episode of the season, why isn't she fighting for her Darksaber? For the Darksaber. When we saw her introduced in season 2, she wants that sword, and she wants this. As she begins this season in this cynicism, and Katie Sackoff's response is, we have to go back to see what she's doing. This is a person who has fought against her own people. She fought forever, and she realizes that doesn't work. You can't continue to fight amongst yourselves. I think with Din, I don't know if I'll go as far to say that she respects or trusts him, but she doesn't not. He done nothing. If he didn't have the Darksaber, he's done nothing that would make her enemy. I think that this her best. I can't read apparently today. I think that is her problem, is she realizes that she's not going to fight her people anymore. She's not going to fight someone who doesn't have a reason to fight. Every single possibility, every place that she's at right now, every direction she's done before it didn't work before. That's what she's trying to figure out. And then the author remarks, though, Bo-Katan, the same situation in the beginning of season 2 Then the author remarks that Bo-Katan was in the same situation in the beginning of season 2. Sackoff replies, she was and she wasn't. At this point, she was trying to get the Darksaber from an enemy. It's easier to fight an enemy for something than it is to fight somebody you actually have respect for and has done nothing to upset you. That's where she's at. We have to go back to the responsibility and guilt that she feels for the death of Satine, being Bo-Katan's sister, which, Satine, a little recap for those of you who hasn't watched the Clone Wars in a while, or not at all. Darth Maul got resurrected in the Clone Wars era. He died in the hands of Obi-Wan in Rebels. But after, like, I believe at this point, Maul was already the ruler of Mandalore because he had the Darksaber. He essentially lured Obi-Wan to Mandalore because he was using Satine, which was pretty much the queen before Darth Maul took rule, as hostage. And Satine was Obi-Wan Kenobi's love interest. So essentially, Obi-Wan had to witness the death of Satine. And in memory serves me right, Bo-Katan came to Obi-Wan's rescue. Seeing Satine's body dead body at this point. Um, and if memory serves me right, the reason why like this could easily play into the guilt part. Back when Satine was alive, like Satine wanted peace, and Bo-Katan was wanting like warriors, protectors, you know. And they were at odds with each other because of their two. I do not on my laptop anymore. Um, their two ideas kept them mashing with each other, and so my theory, the reason why Bo-Katan could have guilt for the death of her sister is because one, she wasn't there to save her, which is perfectly normal response for like any family member to have. In that scenario, and two, because they kept on clashing heads, and who knows, maybe if like Bo-Katan feels like if they were getting along more, then that could have made like her being there to protect Satine. Who knows? I'm trying to like psychologically analyze Bo-Katan right now. Really using really going to that psychology major that I'm doing in for college, right? But that's my theory, and I will continue with that theory. And it could be more reasons than that. I could be wrong, or like I could be partially right, but I hit the nail exactly. If that makes sense. But up until we get it confirmed, I'm sticking with that theory. And I don't think that theory I just mentioned is too out of the park. If that makes sense. Anyways, continuing what Katie Sackoff said, because I didn't finish what she said. Essentially, the death of Satine is weighing on her as well. There is a part of Bo, in a way, trying to right the wrong, atone for the guilt. Deadline asked if is Bo-Katan going to be in Ahsoka. Sackoff said, I can't reveal anything, but no, as of right now, I'm not in Ahsoka. And she could be playing coy because Liam Neeson claimed that he wasn't going to be in the Kenobi show, and the last like 20 seconds of the series, we see Qui-Gon's Force Ghost, and it was Liam Neeson. So, Katie Sackoff could easily be pulling out Liam Neeson right now on us. So, anyways, there's a lot of to unpack here, and I didn't even cite the whole interview. If you're interested in I recommend the entire thing. My main points of interest are Ahsoka the Death Darksaber, and what Sackoff says about Satine Kryzev. I think it could go either way on Bo appearing as Ahsoka. I'm in that camp too. The two characters have history, and you could justify Bo-Katan appearing at some point. I feel like that's a lot of people's or a lot of people are coming from that too. She also has a connection to Sabine Wren, Ahsoka's unsettable co-lead. I don't think Bo would be interested in Ezra's fate or even Grand Admiral Thrawn. But maybe she'll help her old friends. I bet Bo-Katan would be interested in Grand Admiral Thrawn if he became such a threat, which I'm hoping becomes that big of a threat where, yeah, raises a lot of red flags with Bo-Katan. Anyways, I don't think that's necessary though. But you don't want to risk overusing these characters. And that I have to agree as well. I am shocked that Bo-Katan has evidently given up the quest for the Darksaber, realizing the folly in her cycle of violence. Surprisingly, I am too. This ties into what Sackoff said about Satine, which I've been impatiently waiting to hear/see. It's impossible to overstate the fact that Bo-Katan's actions led to her sister's murder, albeit inadvertently. Again, because I also think that if memory serves me right, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I watched that arc. Um, I believe like there was a section of Mandalorians that helped serve Darth Maul, and I do believe like the Night Owls, or maybe it was what Death Watch was. I think Bo-Katan was part of Death Watch, and in memory serves me right, Bo-Katan did help um Darth Maul out in some cases. So I can see where this person says that Bo-Katan's accident kind of led to her sister's murder. In that way. Because, in a way, you can say that that is a very accurate, sad, and depressing, but accurate statement. I can't believe how little this has been addressed. Bo looked sad when helping Obi-Wan escape in the Clone Wars, and accepted the Darksaber from Sabine in her sister's name in Rebels. Aside from those instances, she seems to blame Obi-Wan more than herself. This makes no sense as he tried to protect the Duchess at every turn while Bo was a leading member of a terrorist group opposing the Duchess rule. I understand she didn't want her sister to die, but what did she expect? She and Pre Vizsla peacefully upset her sister, ruled together with her blessing, and everything's fine? I've been waiting to see this almost as much as Ahsoka and Sabine fighting Ezra. I really hope this means Bo will discuss this further like she did her father in this week's episode. I mean, hey, how the second episode ended for a Mandalorian, I think it's a safe bet to say that we'll see Bo-Katan in the next week's episode. Will it? Will we have get the whole guilt thing of her sister addressed? 50-50. I hope it's the 50 that's in the favor, because I agree with this person. It should be addressed at some point. And Bo-Katan's a really good character. I think she's I think part of the reason why Bo-Katan is such a good character is because has such turmoil. She is torn, and you can see the struggle that she has going on. And I think that we've seen that struggle a bit in Clone Wars, in Rebels, and season 2 of Mando, but having that conversation with Din Djarin, talking about her sister, and just seeing that immense pain, immense guilt that she has, could make for a huge character development for Bo-Katan, and could give us more of a clear understanding of where she is mentally at this point. It could I want to see more of that survivor's guilt. If she has survivor's guilt, I want to see that survivor's guilt coming to play a bit more, if any. And I think bringing up her sister could bring that out, and having Din Djarin try doing his best to console her, and maybe that conversation could bring those two characters together a bit more. And who knows? But I also agree with the statement that how the what was the statement? Something about the character being overused, and I'm also in the same camp where like even though I want to see though that guilt and pain the survivor's guilt pretty much coming out of play about her sister, I was like I said the next week's episode is the perfect time to do that. Um, I don't want Bo-Katan to be in Ahsoka unless if this calls for her character. Kind of like how I feel like so far seeing Bo-Katan in the Mandalorian, all the times that we saw Bo-Katan was essentially her needed after the first episode. Because I feel like partially of the first episode was seeing her in was like Suri was needed to guide Din to a force sensitive being Ahsoka, and two cameo. But after that first episode, I feel like it was more so like it was needed for her to be in Mando, and so unless if she's needed per se, I don't want her to be in Ahsoka. Like I would love to see Ahsoka and Bo-Katan reunite, but there has to be a actual reason why she is in the show more than just reuniting. If that makes sense. Anyways, I talked your guys' ears off long enough. What do you guys think? Let me know about this article and my theory or whatever. Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. Talk to you fellow mutants later. Later, taters, and may the force be with us all.